Eamonn Holmes is said to have no regrets about his actions, which allegedly contributed to the breakdown of his marriage to Ruth Langsford. The TV presenter and Ruth parted ways in May this year after 27 years together, including 14 years of marriage and sharing a 22-year-old son, Jack. Their on-screen partnership was well known as co-hosts of shows like This Morning. However, Eamonn's intense dislike for his former This Morning colleague Philip Schofield and frustration over being dropped by ITV reportedly created an awkward situation for Ruth, as she continued to appear regularly on ITV's Loose Women. According to a source close to Eamonn, who has moved on to date 42-year-old Katie Alexander, the presenter stands by his public outbursts, which may have strained his marriage. The source revealed to the Daily Mail, Eamonn's dislike for Philip has existed for a long time, but it became very public at the end of his marriage to Ruth. And as his hatred for him and ITV grew, the cracks in their relationship grew deeper. Ruth became dismayed at Eamonn for making repeated digs at ITV after they were axed from This Morning. Ruth wasn't over the moon about it, but given she was still a cemented member of the Loose Women family, it made things somewhat awkward for her to have Eamonn criticizing ITV. Eamonn Holmes harbors no regrets over his recent comments about Philip Schofield, but he staunchly refuses to apologize for what H has said. Both Holmes and Schofield have had a highly publicized fallout, with an insider noting, but Eamonn loathes Philip and has no regrets about what he said and certainly doesn't think he threw him under the bus. He doesn't regret any of his behavior. He believes he, Phil, is addicted to fame and can't believe H has attempted to relaunch himself with his documentary last week. The source added that Eamonn was keen to put this chapter behind him and insisted there won't ever be a reconciliation with Philip. Their squabble is often dubbed as one of the bitchiest in showbiz, with such animosity that they'd rather avoid each other altogether than exchange even a glance. This bitter rivalry reportedly began when Phil interrupted Ruth during This Morning's live broadcast in 2019. When he abruptly cut her off, he exclaimed, "Guys, we're going to have to jump in there and stop you, I'm afraid, because we're a bit tight for time at this end. Thank you, Ruth." Ruth retorted, "Well, I only had about 2 more words to say," as she forcefully set down her pen. In a twist of fate, Alison Hammond and Dermot O'Leary replaced the dynamic duo Ruth and Eamonn on This Morning, ending their 15-year run. While Ruth maintained a dignified silence, Eamonn was vocal about their sudden departure's lack of explanation. Eamonn reportedly never warmed to Philip personally, as the source explained to Mail Online. On a personal level, Philip and Eamonn never got on. Eamonn found him snippy and passive-aggressive and thought he badly treated the lower-down people on the show. Philip was impolite. He would ignore you and then be nice to you, and you were meant to be grateful for that. It made Eamonn furious. When Eamonn and Ruth lost their lucrative Friday gig, Eamonn reportedly wasn't happy when Philip and Holly failed to reach out to offer their best wishes. Frustrations also reportedly arose when Philip accidentally misspelt Eamonn's name wrong throughout his candid autobiography Life's What You Make It, referring to him as Eamonn.